Be honest with me for a second. When was the last time you had a completely comfortable, easy bowel movement? Yesterday? 3 days ago? A week ago? If you're sitting there and you genuinely can't remember, or if right now your stomach feels tight, bloated, like everything in there has just stopped moving, this video is for you. Constipation is one of the most common health complaints there is, and also one of the most misunderstood. Research from the National Institutes of Health suggests that around 16 out of every 100 adults deal with symptoms of constipation at any given time, and that number climbs even higher with age. That's not a small, rare problem. That's millions of people right now, dealing with exactly what you might be dealing with. Here's what frustrates me about how this topic usually gets talked about. Most people suffer quietly. They think it's embarrassing, so they don't bring it up. They grab a laxative, hope for the best, and when it doesn't really solve anything, they just accept it as normal. It isn't. Constipation almost always has identifiable causes, and it has real, research-backed solutions, some of which work faster than you'd expect. So here's what we're doing today. First, a quick, clear look at what's actually happening inside your gut when things get stuck. Then, the everyday habits that are quietly working against you. And finally, a complete practical plan you can start using today. Stay with me, because the middle section is the part almost nobody explains properly, and it changes how you think about the whole problem. Let's start with the mechanics, because once you understand what your gut is actually doing, the solutions stop feeling random and start making sense. Your colon has two main jobs: move waste along using rhythmic muscle contractions, and absorb water from that waste as it travels through. When this process runs smoothly, it usually takes somewhere between 1 and 3 days from the moment you eat something to the moment it leaves your body. Doctors generally define constipation as fewer than 3 bowel movements a week, or stools that are hard, dry, or difficult and painful to pass. Now here's the part that matters. The speed of that whole process, what doctors call motility, isn't fixed. It responds directly to what you do every day: move less, and the contractions slow down, drink less water, and your colon compensates by pulling extra water out of your waste, which makes it harder and drier. Ignore the urge to go, and the signal from your gut to your brain gets weaker over time. Stack a few of these habits together, and you get a gut that's essentially stuck in slow motion. The genuinely good news is that every one of these factors can be adjusted, and adjusting them tends to work faster than people expect. So let's talk about what's actually causing the slowdown, because there are a handful of very ordinary habits that quietly keep the gut locked up, and most people are doing at least one of them without realizing it. The first one is simple dehydration. Your colon needs water to keep stool soft enough to move. When you're even mildly dehydrated, your colon pulls extra water out of your waste to compensate, and what's left behind is hard, dry, and much harder to pass. Studies looking at fluid intake and constipation have found that increasing water consumption meaningfully improves both how often people go and how easy it is. The fix is almost embarrassingly simple: 1 to 2 full glasses of water first thing in the morning before food. This triggers something called the gastrocolic reflex, a wave of contractions that fires up when your stomach senses that something has arrived, and it's one of the strongest natural triggers your gut has. The second habit is getting too little fiber, or the wrong kind. Fiber adds bulk to stool, pulls water in, and gives your colon something to actually grip and push. The general recommendation sits around 25 to 30 grams a day, and most people land closer to half of that. There are 2 types worth knowing. Soluble fiber found in oats, apples, beans, and flaxseed dissolves and forms a soft gel that makes stool easier to move. Insoluble fiber found in whole grains, vegetables, and fruit skins adds bulk and helps push things along. You need both, and a diet heavy in processed food and light on produce is one of the fastest routes to chronic constipation. The third one is sitting too much. Movement physically stimulates your gut. When you walk, your abdominal muscles gently massage your intestines and help push contents along. A clinical study published in a gastroenterology journal found that regular walking, even just 30 minutes a day, meaningfully reduced constipation symptoms in people with sedentary routines. If most of your day is spent sitting, your gut gets almost no external nudge to keep moving. The fourth is ignoring the urge to go. This one causes more damage than people realize. When your body signals that it's time, your colon is actively contracting to push waste toward the exit. Ignore that signal because you're busy or it's inconvenient, and the muscles relax again. The stool gets pushed back, more water gets pulled out, and it becomes harder to pass next time. Do this often enough and your body actually recalibrates, sending the urge less frequently. The general rule doctors recommend is simple: when you feel the urge, go within about 15 minutes. And the fifth is leaning too hard on stimulant laxatives without addressing the underlying cause. Used occasionally and appropriately, they're fine and sometimes genuinely necessary. But relying on them constantly long-term can make your colon less able to contract on its own over time. They work best as a short-term bridge, not a permanent fix. There's actually a 6th factor that rarely makes it into these lists, and it's stress. Your gut and your brain are connected through what researchers call the gut-brain axis, a constant back and forth of nerve signals between your digestive system and your central nervous system. During stressful stretches, that communication shifts, and for a lot of people, the result is exactly what you'd expect. Motility slows down, and the gut essentially deprioritizes digestion while your body deals with whatever's stressing it out. This is part of why constipation often shows up or gets worse during a new job, travel, grief, or any big life change, even when your diet hasn't changed at all. It's worth noticing whether your symptoms track more closely with your stress levels than with anything you're eating. Because if that's the pattern, a short walk, a few minutes of slow breathing, or protecting your sleep can end up mattering just as much as fiber does. Now that you know what's working against you, here's the part you've been waiting for. A practical step-by-step plan. Start with your mornings, because the first 30 minutes after waking up are the most powerful window you have. The moment you wake up, drink 1 to 2 glasses of water, ideally warm, since warm water tends to relax the digestive tract more effectively. Within 15 to 30 minutes, eat something, even something small, because eating triggers that same gastrocolic reflex we talked about earlier. Then about 20 to 30 minutes after eating, sit on the toilet whether or not you feel a strong urge. This trains your body to expect a bowel movement at a consistent time. If you can, elevate your feet 6 to 8 inches using a small stool. This position straightens the angle between your rectum and colon, and research published in a clinical gastroenterology journal found it reduces straining and improves how completely you empty. Don't force anything, just sit, relax, and give your body a few minutes to respond. Done consistently over several days, many people find their body starts responding naturally at roughly the same time each morning. Next, fix your fiber intake, but do it gradually since adding too much too quickly can cause gas and bloating. Increase by about 5 grams every few days until you reach that 25 to 30 gram target. A few foods worth highlighting because the research behind them is genuinely strong. Prunes, which contain fiber plus a natural compound that draws water into the colon. Ground flaxseed, 1 to 2 tablespoons a day, stirred into yogurt or oatmeal. Kiwi fruit, with studies showing 2 a day improves frequency and reduces straining within about 4 weeks. And legumes like beans and lentils among the highest fiber foods available. Then there's hydration throughout the day, not just in the morning. Aim for 6 to 8 glasses spread out, a couple with meals, 1 mid-morning, 1 mid-afternoon. Coffee and alcohol don't count toward that total since they're dehydrating. Peppermint and ginger tea, on the other hand, have some evidence behind them for easing bloating and supporting gut motility. One more tool worth mentioning because the research on it is more solid than you'd expect. Abdominal massage, lying flat on your back using gentle but firm pressure, massaging in a clockwise direction following the path of your colon. Roughly 10 minutes a day has been shown in multiple studies to increase bowel movement frequency and ease bloating. Most people who try consistently start noticing changes within 4 to 8 weeks. And finally, movement, a 10 to 15 minute walk after meals, especially dinner, helps move things through your stomach and small intestine and reduces bloating. If walking isn't an option, even gentle chair exercises or simple stretching provide some of the same benefit. Before we wrap up, there's one cause of constipation that gets almost no attention, and it might be the most important thing in this entire video for some of you: medication. A surprising number of common medications slow the gut down as a side effect. Opioid pain medications are notorious for this. Certain blood pressure medications, iron supplements, antacids containing aluminum or calcium, some antidepressants, antihistamines, and diuretics can all contribute. If you started a new medication recently and noticed your gut slowed down significantly around the same time, that's not a coincidence, and it's worth a conversation with your doctor. There are often alternatives or adjustments available. Just don't stop any prescribed medication on your own without talking to them first. And while most constipation is what's called functional, meaning it's tied to diet, hydration, activity, and habits, a few signs mean it's worth seeing a doctor promptly rather than waiting it out. Constipation that starts suddenly with no clear cause, blood in your stool or on the toilet paper, unexplained weight loss alongside changes in your bowel habits, constipation that alternates with diarrhea, severe abdominal pain that doesn't ease up, or symptoms that last more than 3 weeks and aren't responding to any of the changes we've covered. None of these automatically mean something serious, and in most cases they turn out to be manageable, but they're worth getting checked. And catching something early is always the better outcome. There's a common instinct to wait things out because it feels like a minor, embarrassing issue rather than something worth a doctor's time. It isn't minor if it's affecting your daily life, and doctors deal with this conversation constantly. You're not going to surprise anyone. So let's bring this together into one simple plan you could start tomorrow morning. Wake up and drink water right away. Eat breakfast within half an hour. Sit on the toilet 20 to 30 minutes after eating. Feet elevated, no straining. Drink water consistently through the day. Take a short walk after your biggest meal. Respond to the urge within 15 minutes every time. And gradually build your fiber intake with foods like prunes, flaxseed, kiwi, and legumes rather than jumping straight to supplements. None of this requires a dramatic overhaul. Research suggests that small, consistent changes done daily tend to outperform aggressive short-term fixes that people can't sustain. Pick one thing from this video and start tonight: an extra glass of water, a short walk after dinner, a handful of prunes tomorrow morning. That's it. That's the whole starting point. If this video was actually useful to you, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this information reach more people who are dealing with the exact same thing and don't know where to start. And if you want more videos like this, ones that go past the surface level advice and actually explain the why behind it, subscribe.